All right. You are now rocking with the best, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you so much for tuning in to another exciting, exhilarating episode of the and new wrestling podcast. I am, of course, your host, Katie Drummond, and we are finally back with all four of the horsemen. Let's go around the room. Say what's up to the people, Pat.
Welcome back to the greatest professional wrestling coverage on God's green earth. I am Patrick No C Walker, aka the kayfabe of And New Wrestling, and I know you missed us, baby, but here we are. We back in business, all four in one spot.
And of course, we have the one and only Mr. Josh Rodriguez. Say what's up, Josh.
The Josh Rodriguez at Film School University. You know what time it is. It's time for TV time. It's time for a Intercontinental Championship match. Let's go. Let's keep going. Let's go.
And of course, the last but definitely not least, the one and only Mr. Skywalker Steele. Say what's up, Will.
Hey man, we back from the dead like
Woo!
Let's go. Let's go.
Fire.
Yeah, my home Braves left me all alone last week, and I had to go ahead and
stop that.
Yeah, but fortunately, I've been in the gym working out, and my shoulders are strong enough to carry these gentlemen.
Yeah,
now that I don't know. How
Listen,
to carry
it's the chicanery for me, bro. Relax. For those that don't know, the other gig is kind of demanding.
Yeah.
From a certain month to a certain month. So we get in here and we cook up for y'all, man. Don't let KD hit y'all with that bullshit.
No,
but real talk
with this bullshit.
But real talk, KD, you held it down.
You did,
for the Four Horsemen. So good stuff, man.
It was my favorite episode that of Pat's takes. Honestly,
absolutely.
Boy, you are a hater. You are a mega hater.
That was the most insightful he's been this entire season.
Agreed.
Right?
See,
Agreed.
This is the type
that was Pat's best episode.
I can't work under these conditions. I ain't taking this from no seltzer drinker. You drink seltzer. Fuck out of here.
Let me give KD some real flowers, man. So YouTube, hopefully they, everything
they'll get right.
But that was some fantastic work by KD. I had fun editing that, and maybe you guys will get something similar to that, but on a shorter note. But it was a good one, bro.
Yeah, listen, I mean, it sparked an idea in my head. I was like, sooner or later, what if just every once in a while, each one of us drops our own 5 to 10 minute soliloquy, and I use that word because I know KD can't spell it.
SOL. Illoquy.
But now, real talk, we'll do that just to kind of mix things up, and because just like we know that we have fans of the four-pack, the Four Horsemen. I mean, Ric Flair had his own fan, and
Arn Anderson.
Yeah, so we'll cook it up. We just trying to keep it spicy for y'all. So KD, he did hold it down last week when the other three of us, we were just completely tied up. But we love that we're back, and we're back in time for Bad Blood. Hell in a Cell, baby.
Absolutely. And one of the things that I talked about in that, one of the things that I talked about in that solo endeavor was that I saw coming that Bayley was going to defeat Naomi in that match because there was no real history between her and Nia Jax for there to be a bad blood match between the two for Nia's championship. So it had to be Bayley. And now that has happened, I am really looking forward to seeing if the rest of my prediction comes true once we get to Bad Blood. So we're going to table some of the Bad Blood preview stuff, our predictions for later on in the show. But I do want to return to that SmackDown episode and talk about some of the things that happened. We did not meet last week, so we weren't able to talk about the tremendous promo shot from 2 weeks ago when Cody and Roman met midfield.
We didn't talk about that.
We didn't get a chance to talk about that, right?
Fire.
And that led into what we saw last week. So, I mean, that was for me, that was one of the best scripted scenarios that you could possibly have with those two, the way that they met. And then when he was walking off and he cut him off, all of that, it was just like the little things in between. It was like chef's kiss of cinema, the way that they broke that down. So speaking of how that led into what happened in last Friday's episode of SmackDown, we got to see the reactions of Kevin Owens and Randy Orton. And it's something that we talked about for months on end. When is this turn gonna happen? And they keep teasing us and they keep getting us this close to Kevin Owens going off. Talk to me about what you guys are feeling, if whether or not we're going to see that this week. Just talk to me in general about how you're feeling about where this rivalry stands right now and the sides that are being chosen.
I think it's phenomenal, sensational, superb, stupendous, and all of the other adjectives that you can throw at this, because we don't know if Roman's going to keep to his word, right? Because in the promo, Cody said, I want you to keep your word. And Roman said, yeah, he would. But then at the very end, like you said, KD, Cody steps in front of Roman, and then Roman's like, you're in my way. Cody backs down, and he was like, no, in life, you're in my way. In life.
In life.
That's heavy, man.
Yes, sir.
That's heavy.
Yes,
And then
sir.
it rolls over, and now you have the Viper Randy Orton, who's giving Cody support and saying, you know what, I don't necessarily like it, but I understand the why. I understand, what you're doing it for. But then you got Kevin, and Kevin is just, he's not with it. He's not feeling it. And then you have like the little nuances that Kevin is playing and selling so hard and so well, like the tag match where Cody misunderstood and thought Cody was going to be in a 6-way tag, and Kevin was like, no.
So wait a
you
minute,
got that
Blake.
match at Bad Blood with Roman. You worry about that. Okay,
Yeah, go be with your new tag.
yeah,
partner.
you go holler at your new friend, right?
Yeah.
Don't come to us. You know what I'm saying? And then at the end, where Cody comes out at the behest of Randy, but to the chagrin of Kevin Owens, and then Owens is basically, like you said, he's just that he was about to put hands on Cody. He was about to, but the Viper stopped him. So does that happen? Does the turn finally come at Bad Blood? And if that comes from Kevin Owens, that right now, Cody, it feels like he's really on an island.
Yep.
You know what I mean? Like, yeah, you have the Viper, but the Viper laid some Easter eggs weeks ago as far as like, hey, everybody's going to come for that belt. He was kind of talking about himself as well. So you got Kevin to worry about. Is Roman going to turn on him? Is this, somebody said on Twitter, and I didn't want to consider it until I saw it, and then I was like, man, I don't know that it happens, but what if this is just a master class of Roman setting up Cody to get that belt? So maybe what if the Solo Sikoa Timu bloodline was really all to get that belt off of Cody?
I think Steele was the first person to say it. He said it a couple weeks
He
ago.
might have.
Right?
He might have.
Yeah, we fantasy booked a lot of cool things, and as you were talking, Pat, you're about to call me Mr. Fantasy Booker because you just give me ideas. And what
how we do.
We're talking about what if we are seeing the plans. By the way, shouts out to the writing. Shouts out to Triple H, just slowly but surely festering all these little things across both brands. Amazing stuff. But we're seeing KO. Obviously, it's very obvious for KO where this is going. Eventually, it will happen. He will turn at some point. I think the wild card here is, where does that leave Randy?
Yeah.
So follow me. Okay, this is going to be a long stretch here, but follow me. You've got the triple threat match happening here for the ladder tag team titles here shortly, right? And you get DIY, Street Profits, and the Bloodline. The Bloodline doesn't need the titles to have that prestige. Okay, so this could be a great opportunity to put the titles back on a babyface. Primarily, for me, would be the Street Profits because they'd be more entertaining than DIY.
Please, man.
So I say all that. Keep that in mind. What if it's Randy that RKO's out of nowhere? Backs Kevin Owens after saying, look, I got a problem with it, but you my guy, I'll look out. But after what happened this past week, the whole meetup at Georgia, and things continue to not feel right for that side of things, does Randy go with his real tag team partner, Kevin Owens? And now we get a double heel turn, and they're presented as a heel tag team to beat with whoever it is until you're ready for Randy Orton to go after the title. I'm just saying.
Oh, my God.
If I'm Triple H, I would consider a double heel, Josh. I'm just saying.
No, I love that idea. I'm always for Randy Orton being heel no matter what. I think Randy Orton as a babyface just feels a little soft, man. Like his best moments ever have always been Randy Orton as a heel.
The legend killed him.
Especially, and let's say that happens, and I'm 100% with you. I support that idea 100%. To me, looking even further, which I know Triple H is doing, we all know Triple H is doing, you have John Cena coming back.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
Who better
the retirement tour,
for John Cena than to feud with a heel Randy Orton?
Yeah. God, that's delicious.
That's some deep booking.
Num.
That's delicious. Yeah, nums. I extra large agree with you there, Josh. Extra large agree. Yes.
Now, one of the things that I think I bring to the table is my inexperience over the last couple decades of following wrestling. So when I look at things with a fresh a fresh perspective as opposed to somebody that's been ingrained in it for years. And the things that you guys come up with are beautiful. From my perspective, what we saw on Raw last night was the test shot. And it's really unimportant. Nobody cares about Awesome Truth anymore. I mean, they're comical, but the heel turn that we saw happen in match between Miz turning on R-Truth is that the precursor? Is that the let's throw this out into the water? This is a heel turn. Get everybody ready for it. And now we're going to see a huge change of somebody turning on somebody in Bad Blood on Saturday, because they've done that before. I've noticed it with NXT. They'll test dummy something on NXT and then break it out on the bigger brands a couple weeks later. So they always seem to do a precursor of the major moves that they're doing. I've taken a little note here and there on some of the things that they've done. So I'm just thinking, when I saw that last night, I was, I can't wait to see the heel turn that they're going to bring. Because again, remember, I'm bringing my 10-year-old son into all of this. That was his first heel turn. He had never seen somebody turn on their partner like what Miz did yesterday, and he went crazy. What are you doing?
Yes,
you can't do it was like all of that emotion and knowing how that affected him. I was like, they're absolutely going to do that on Saturday. So I love the idea, and maybe it's not Saturday, but maybe it's down the line after this goes through fruition, and then eventually over the next couple of weeks they do the heel turn. But something is definitely coming when it comes to that trio.
Well, Josh called it on the Miz, so I'm gonna let him cook this one up.
Yeah, to me, again, like Randy Orton, the best version of the Miz is in fact a heel.
Yeah,
and any good talker, I feel like the best version of them is a heel. I'm always going to be heel centric when it comes to that. For the Miz, I was happy that it happened. I'm afraid that the impact isn't as strong as if he would have done it at SummerSlam on a big stage like that.
Right.
To me, the impact wasn't as it didn't deliver as much as it should have at SummerSlam. But I like where it's going. I love the idea of a heel Miz if he builds it up. Like it was very sudden. The way he did it was nice.
Right.
It's like he jumps in the ring, he's ready to go, and then a quick kick to the face to R-Truth, which is a fan favorite. He just came back from injury. Everyone's excited to see him. They do their final "What's up?" They do the whole thing. It's great. You see Miz turn there. Love it. Great. What are we going to get out of this? And this is kind of where I'm at with the Miz, where I think he's been so underrated his whole career. Not just on the mic, but he's an actually great in-ring worker. He really, really is, and doesn't get the praise that an AJ Styles does, because AJ Styles is like the phenom. I mean, quite literally.
And he's coming back, by the way.
Yep.
And he's coming back. So to me, at least with the Miz, I hope it builds to something more than I am the Miz and I'm awesome. And I'm a bad guy. Like get in some championship matches. You know what I mean? Like, show me the Miz versus those big names. I want to see him in the ring with some really, really top guys and not just playing around with the middle carders, honestly.
Do you just curious if you guys, your thoughts on this? Karrion Kross has been behind a couple things. Is there a possibility there's anything there, or is this just Miz going to be solo?
Miz needs to be solo. Don't attach yourself to Karrion Kross.
And that's what he usually does. But we also know Miz does these weird team ups, and it somehow, some way works out.
Yeah, but I think the Miz with like a religious faction, I think that's
you can't sell that.
That's
That's as weird as
the megastar, not as megastar, but the A-lister. Yeah, that'd be weird.
Yeah, that's just as weird as Apple Boy with Judgment Day. Like, certain things just don't go together. Like, it just doesn't. But I'm with Josh on this one. I'm curious to see. Well, I'll answer it this way. I'll answer Katie's question, and then I'll kind of dovetail off of Josh. So, Katie, I don't know that. Other than what we're talking about, Kevin Owens, maybe the Viper, per Steel, maybe maybe Roman, completely goes from anti-hero, which is what he is right now, back to heel, and it turns out he and Solo were working together the whole time. Outside of stuff like that, I don't see another opportunity for a turn on Bad Blood, because the Judgment Day versus Liv versus Rhea, that's already set. Okay, right. Dom's going to be in the Shark Tank, and you're probably going to get interference from the Funko Pop and Apple Boy, and I mean, you're going to get that. And then Finn versus Damian Priest. You're going to get more interference from Funko Pop and, Apple Boy and Liv. Okay, whatever. But then when you go down the list of the matches, I don't see another opportunity for anyone could turn. So I do think that this is going to serve as a reminder that no one is safe from turning heel, but I don't know that you'll get any additional heel turn that probably wasn't already written into Bad Blood, which will be one of the headline moves anyway. Now, as far as, dovetailing off of what Josh is saying, I agree. I want to see where this goes with Miz, because the cinema that was Last Monster Standing was just fantastic. And then we get the return of Seth and stomping, Bronson Reed's head into the steel stairs. It was just phenomenal, right? So Seth is back. So they've done a masterful job of taking Bronson Reed from a solid mid-card to using his fury and, much to KD's appreciation, tsunami after tsunami after tsunami on every single person who dared got in his way. It's now elevated him where you can see him going against someone with the legacy of a Seth Rollins. Like, now we want to see that, right?
Right.
Now, in doing so, you've pitted him against Braun Strowman, who also needed elevation. So now does Braun Strowman go up against The Miz? Because if you notice the past couple of episodes, The Miz keeps trying to get Braun Strowman's attention to say, hey, why have you been interfering with me versus Bronson Reed? And Braun is like, listen, it takes a monster to take down a monster. And Miz is like, yeah, okay. But he has that look in his eyes like, you're trying me right now. And then last night on Monday Night Raw, he tried again to have that conversation with him. But R-Truth came in and kind of broke that up. And then, Strowman was like, yeah, we'll talk about that later. So if Miz is feeling dismissed and disrespected by Strowman, who's now been elevated, dismissed. Ooh, that's nice. That's nice. That must be in the seltzer can. But if Strowman's battle and feud with Bronson Reed has now, it's kind of like, what's the word I'm looking for, resonated outward and bringing him up to it's him versus Miz and then now Bronson versus Seth, I could go for that. But there has to be a direction for Miz, and Karrion Kross is not a direction for anybody, if you ask me.
So let me interject, because I know that we want to, excuse me, I know that we want to make sure that we get in our Bad Blood predictions, and there's so much that we want to talk about since we haven't been on the air for a couple of weeks. Let's talk about do a rapid fire, and I know that we're really long-winded here, but let's try to do a rapid fire of things that aren't going to be attached to Bad Blood that we want to make sure that we cover before we move past it. SmackDown, LA Knight, Andrade, Carmelo Hayes. Do you guys have thoughts about that? Because LA Knight is not on this PLE card.
Triple threat coming, but not for Bad Blood.
Triple threat coming for Survivor Series, and give me a ladder match. If we're talking about ladder matches at Survivor Series for the Intercontinental Belt, those are all classics. Think of Shawn Michaels and Razor Ramon. Think of The Rock and Triple H ladder match for the Intercontinental Belt. Give me a triple threat threat match for the Intercontinental Belt at Survivor Series.
Well, this would be for the US. It's LA Knight to
Sorry,
for the US.
I just meant like a mid card belt. My bad.
Right. Yeah, I got you.
I want to use that to go back to get my point in on the Miz and heel turns real quick. So what you're looking for, KD, might happen, but on a lesser level. Xavier Woods is close to turning heel. That could be them teasing, showing that the Miz did it. How will it happen if it's Xavier Woods? That's a possibility. Where Miz can go and shine, it's an easy answer we're all overlooking. Jey Uso and the Intercontinental title.
Oh yeah.
Jey Uso needs the next heel guy. There's nobody that delivers like the Miz when it comes to the IC. He might arguably be the greatest IC champion of all time. Gunther has the length, but Miz has the most titles, and when he's carried it, he brought it back to prestige about 8 years ago, if you guys remember. So Miz and Gunther, it's not a bad blood thing. Miz and Jey Uso. It's not a bad blood situation, but don't be surprised if that's the direction they go. That could really play up a mega face, and then you bring back the A-lister mega heel. That'd be fun.
Yeah.
And you went where I was going to go to next, because we didn't get a chance to talk about Jey Uso taking out Braun Breaker in one of the most phenomenal matches that I can remember. The pop when Jey Uso, and I talked about it when I did the solo show last week, the pop when Uso won, it felt like the entire wrestling universe was cheering for that dude. Like, I mean, it felt like one of those.
Beautiful.
I don't know if you guys watched the Umbrella Academy in
Yeah.
oh
my God,
when the waves went out and the whole waves went out and came, like it felt like the whole universe celebrated Jey Uso taking that title.
CM
Man.
Punk
it was
said
phenomenal.
He'd never seen a crowd one-sided that much, and that's CM Punk.
And it was against Breaker. Like Breaker is over.
Never
like
seen,
it was.
Everybody in the stadium wanted to see Jey Uso win.
Sensational. And now what we're getting, and we got
the arena,
good. And now what we're getting, because we got a good kind of segue into what we're about to see with Braun Breaker. He's about to turn babyface. Yep. He's about to go full babyface. He gave the respect to Jey Uso winning there. He's like, I'm not going to spear you. I'm not going to put my hands on you. I'm just here to show respect. He shook his hand, and then what'd you see thereafter? Him talking to Gunther, saying basically, I'm coming for this. He was like, you'll find out sooner than later that I am a badass. So of course we'll get Sami Zayn finally, as far as agreements concerned. He got the agreement from Gunther, so they'll go at it. I'm not too hyped about that. Honestly, I'm more hyped for the women's championship, because I feel like, and this is going to please Josh, I feel like this is where Tiffy time, this is when it happens. So KD, to answer your question, if you want to know if there's any chance of a non-headliner, as far as like alphas, right? Because Tiffy's not an alpha, right? Not quite yet anyway. She will be, but she's not quite yet. But if you're talking someone that might be set up for a heel turn by virtue of what they showed us, The Miz versus R-Truth, it's Tiffy. I think it's Tiffy, because if you look at last week's SmackDown, Nia Jax, she puts her hands on Tiffy.
Yeah, she put her hands on her neck.
I'm talking like Dre did that bitch, okay? Choked her out to the point where afterwards you saw Tiffy, she did her little, oh my God, I can't believe that happened. And then right before the camera cut out, she kind of toughened the skin a little bit and looked at Nia walking away like, okay, you really think you're going to get away with that? So I think that's what's going to happen there. But kind of circling back, to your original thing, when it comes to Jey Uso, could not be more proud of that dude. 14 years, most of it being, as like he said, he's always been a twin. He's always been part of the Usos, the tag match.
I thought he was going to cry yesterday.
I think actually he was.
I think
and that's
he
why
might have been crying.
He was having a hard time taking the sunglasses off. That's why he was like doing this. He was like, should I, shouldn't I? He finally came out of it. But yeah, all respect to that man. He deserves it. And I hope his reign is not short. I hope his reign is not short. And whomever they get to take the belt off of him, it's either got to be mega heel Miz, who gets back to that level of cachet that we have known the Miz to be at when he's peak Miz. So if it's not peak Miz, I'm still here for the matchups. But unless it's peak Miz, I don't want to see like an average heel Miz take it off of him. Like, you got to go full blown to the
scorched earth. Daniel Bryan's
scored. That's what I'm talking about.
Miz, yeah.
And then we referenced it real quick, but AJ Styles is on the way back. He'll be back on this week's episode of SmackDown, the episode right before Bad Blood. So doubt he'll be on Bad Blood. But if we're talking about the Intercontinental title matches, AJ Styles is going to immediately qualify. If we're talking about the World Heavyweight Championship, AJ Styles is going to immediately qualify and probably come after this particular belt off of Gunther, because Universal belt is kind of tied up, obviously, with the mega storyline. But remember how AJ Styles went out before, as far as like off of main broadcasting, because he was in Japan doing the tour for them. But now that he's back, he's not coming back for anything less than a belt.
Josh?
Yeah, really quickly, just as far as my reaction to Jey Uso winning the Intercontinental belt, I think on paper, I hate it. I really do. I hate the idea of Braun Breaker.
You just hate the yeet. You hate the yeet.
I hate the yeet. I hate his character. I hate the yeet movement. I don't like taking the belt off of Braun Breaker that soon. I'm a Braun Breaker mark.
Josh is Kendrick Lamar when it comes to. He's like, yeah, I'm a hater. I hate how you dress. I hate how you walk.
No, yeah, I don't like it at all. I don't like it at all. However, when you have a match of that quality,
yes,
a genuine 5-star match, Dave Meltzer 5-star match, like it was glorious, and the finish was perfect. I myself was cheering for Jey Uso. As a hater, I was cheering for Jey Uso.
That's like, how you know that's great.
That's how you know.
Right there.
That's how you know you're over.
They got me. They got me. I marked out for that. And to see the reaction from fans across the globe, as much as I don't like his yeet thing, the yeet movement, all of that, to see, even a kid just lose his shit over Jey Uso winning the belt. It took me back to myself in April of 2000 watching Backlash right after WrestleMania 2000 and The Rock finally winning that belt. Like, it took me to that moment. I'm like, okay, no matter what the fuck I think, I'm 33 years old, man. Who gives a shit what I think? Because this kid just had the night of his life watching Jey Uso win that belt. It totally worth it, man.
And dude, and it gave me chills seeing, and this is why I wanted, and I'm glad that whether you love the Yeet movement or don't love the Yeet movement, the fact is it resonates so much with the younger generation, and the younger generation, you know, like Caden,
that's what drives this bus, honestly,
right? Exactly, and when you see Jey on Monday Night Raw come out with his kid, with his son, and his son is like Yeet, and then the hug and the kiss on the forehead, like that. Heel Jey, if Jey had won it as a heel, that doesn't happen.
No,
you know what I mean? So as a super baby face, like it resonates, and then him coming down the stairs and the high, like constantly slapping five with the little girl, and you know what I mean? Like, I mean, it's how can you not love it? Even if you hate it, you love it because it's like, come on, man.
He's like a modern
living proof.
He's like a modern day Bret Favre. I'm sorry, Bret Hart. Bret Favre.
That's our
other side of things we do.
Jey out here stealing funds. Jey out here stealing funds. Oh, come on, man.
But it reminded me of the modern day Bret Hart, the Hitman Hart, with the glasses, the Yeet glasses.
Yeah, going through the crowd and slapping five.
Giving out the stuff, being an overly baby face. Like, he'll never do no wrong as a Yeet. Bret could never do no wrong until he went full heel, right? And eventually that'll happen. But it kind of reminded me of that. And I'm the same way. I'm not a fan of the whole turning him into the Yeet merchant, but I get it works for this
global
genre.
It just needs to be more. It just needs to be like more than that.
But I think it's getting to that now.
Now it is.
Now it is. Because you're starting to see the more serious tone. Because now, if you're going back and looking at Monday Night Raw, his exchange with Braun Breaker, it was more of a, okay, I have this now.
I got it now.
And it's serious. It's still Yeet, but it's less of that and more of who won it. That's why he was like, I'm going to defend this every week. Now it's time for fighting Jey.
And he was that way in his promo with Breaker before the match. And I was like, okay.
He was. That was intense.
That NFL line, that short and sweet NFL line.
Killed him. Oh, my God. Body in a bag.
I don't know if it took the Yeet movement, but they put some color on that belt, and now I'm a fan. I was not a fan of that design. I like the white belt. I like the old Intercontinental Oval belt. Those are my kind of nostalgic looks. I wasn't a fan of this one, but the color in it, I like it.
Yeah, it's kind of splashy.
I thought they were going to do a blue strap.
A blue strap would be nice too. I mean, I thought that would have been nice. The white strap, but I'll take a blue. More color, better for me.
It was blue in like the Attitude Era, right? It was purple, then it was blue.
It was blue with the oval. That was the oval world.
Yeah. Regardless, great belt.
Great belt.
Right, time for Jey to get serious, and he can thank Braun Breaker for that, because Braun is what kind of pushed him to the more serious
part.
Put
him over.
And again, Braun is pointed directly at the World Heavyweight Championship.
Yes, he is. Braun versus
Gunther. I love the fact that they took it from him so that he could be greater. Right.
Hey.
I love that aspect of the storyline when it comes to Braun.
I have a prediction for that. We'll wait for the predictions part.
I am A-okay with a short reign if it goes to Braun. Trust me, believe me. A-okay with it.
When we get to predictions part, I have something for you.
So let's talk Bad Blood, because we have 5 matches on Bad Blood, and we want to make sure that we cover them before we get out of here. And I know that we have a hard stop coming up soon. So let's do rapid reaction. CM Punk, Drew McIntyre, Hell in a Cell. Give me your predictions on who wins, anything crazy that happens in there.
I'll be really quick. I'm going to say CM Punk wins this one, evens the score, and they get to move on. They move their separate ways. Drew McIntyre takes a break. He comes back later on and gets into the World Heavyweight Championship conversation. Yep. Maybe their rivalry is renewed in some way or another, but really quickly, CM Punk.
Yeah, I'm going CM Punk as well for the same reason. I think he evens the score. Drew takes a hiatus, and that hiatus is designed for Drew to come back as a face, as a full face, not where he steps in the ring and he's constantly hearing CM Punk. They need to cleanse him of that. So I think CM Punk takes the win here, and it just helps take CM Punk on a trajectory for one of these titles.
I agree. I think CM Punk wins, and they start the face turn as soon as it's over. They look at each other. McIntyre gives him some credit, some respect. They shake hands. And then you might see him for a few weeks and it comes back as a face. I agree.
Might even pet the ugly dog.
Go ahead, Josh.
I was going to say really quickly, their promo in the cell, in the OG Hell in a Cell.
Yeah.
CM Punk absolutely murdered that.
Yeah.
And
it was night and day compared to the last two promos that
That's
they did,
how.
which had
That's
me
what he
falling
can do,
asleep.
KD.
100%. And the fact that he was like, I'm going to send you back to Scotland in a fucking box.
Yeah.
Bars.
Yeah.
That's pipe bomb CM Punk. He's back.
It was a 10. What Drew did last week was a 4, and what CM Punk did 2 weeks ago was a 1. Like, I was so, I said it on the solo, I was so disappointed in those promos that I was like, just watch all of this out of the picture. Yeah, I'm definitely back for this match. Next one we want to do is Nia Jax versus Bayley predictions. Y'all know my prediction. I predicted that Bayley wins, Tiffy cashes, and then it's a 3-way rivalry between those three. That's my prediction.
Almost my prediction. I don't think that either necessary. I don't think Nia wins or Bayley wins. I think it's
Tiffy.
Right before the result happens, something else happens which then opens the window for Tiffy to come in. Tiffy runs in, she cashes it, and she pins Nia and she takes the belt.
Okay.
As much as I would love to see, Tiffy coming in at the very beginning, they both make their entrances. They both, man, I could see it right now. Like the ring announcer does both. You know, the challenger Bayley, the champion Nia Jax, Tiffy Times music, like right before the match even starts. And she catches in.
That wouldn't make sense in kayfabe because you want to use it when they're hurt, but that would be amazing for us.
It would be amazing. Like I would just like, oh yeah, Tiffy's that bitch. Like she's gonna go in and fucking.
You already think Tiffy's that bitch
from the jump. She's.
You already think Tiffy's that bitch.
As sort of a heel that she is, it's gonna be at the end of a match, and I think she cashes in most likely here at Bad Blood. She cashes in on Nia Jax. I don't want to say rinse and repeat, but it's going to be a great match between Bayley and Nia, no doubt. We've seen it before. Part 2 is going to be much of the same. Nia Jax has a tougher time. She's tired. And then Tiffy, probably to a great reaction, probably to a face reaction, cashes in on Nia Jax. And maybe it's a face turn.
Maybe it's a face turn, yeah.
But I think how it happens is I don't think it's a traditional cash in as far as like Tiffy runs out. I think Tiffy runs out with the appearance that she's going to help Nia, and maybe once or twice, like maybe she pulls Bayley's leg, or maybe she gets a cheap shot in, ringside against Bayley, and you just like, she's not going to do it, and then it kind of hits her because there's a window while she's standing there. There's a window of opportunity, and then she looks at the briefcase, and then she looks at the ring announcer. She looks at the briefcase, and she's like, "Here," and then she takes it.
I would love if she just left the briefcase under the ring or something. Like she runs out without it. And then she just picks it up later.
Or Nia could win, and Tiffy is congratulating her, and then she has that briefcase, looks over and hits her upside the head, and either way, I'm with y'all. I think Tiffy
and moonsault.
I think Tiffy cashes in. I feel like it's so obvious at this point, which is okay. Sometimes it needs to be
right,
and because this rivalry or this duo, I think it's hit its peak. I don't think it can go up anymore. It'll just go down and be tired and boring, and it really didn't make sense to begin with. But they made it work. So shouts out to him. She cashes in, and then we get a chance to see where this goes.
Well, first contender if Tiffy cashes in, first contender is going to be Naomi. They're setting that up.
To Josh's point about this being for the next generation, this being for the kids, it's obvious to us that this is coming, and they might throw us a curveball. But for the kids to see that happen, like for the 15 and under generation to see that happen, it's gonna go apocalypse when it happens.
But this is also one of those things where not everything can be unpredictable, first and foremost, like Will is saying. But then also some things that are obvious doesn't mean you can't make it hit hard. Right. So this can you can see it coming and it can still hit hard.
I can still enjoy it. Absolutely.
Yeah,
absolutely. Not everything has to be a swerve.
Yeah.
Okay. True. I'm going to cheat again since I'm hosting. I'm going to combine 2 matches because they've been intertwined for the last, it feels like 17 years. Damian Priest versus Finn Balor and Rhea Ripley versus Liv Morgan with Dom in the shark cage. And the reason why I'm going to cheat and say maybe it's not a prediction, but we saw on Monday Night Raw's episode another Wyatt 6 clip. And it wasn't a promo video. It was just a clip with the barcode, with the QR code. And when you click the QR code, it was really nothing that was contained in there. It ended up going to their first Uncle Howdy's return back in June. So there was nothing there. But the message was, we're watching you. We see what you're doing. To me, This is the perfect opportunity because they've just beaten us over the head with them jumping the shit out of Damian Priest over and over and over again. What if, because they don't have anybody to have their back, what if the Wyatt Six has
Josh,
their back
it's my turn,
against
Josh.
the Judgment Day?
It's my turn,
what
Josh.
If that happens?
Wyatt Six versus Judgment Day.
Can you imagine that pop on Saturday if they turn the lights out and the dong starts playing? I cannot wait to see this. I pray that Triple H gives that to me.
Rewind back several episodes of the A&W pod, and we were talking about, well, who do you really, because the versus Alpha Academy and then versus American Made, served its purpose, but who really do you want to aim Wyatt Six at? I said aim them at Judgment Day.
Absolutely.
And now here we are. If that happens, I'm losing my shit. Just get me a diaper. I'm losing my shit.
I just want to say really quick, I called Rhea Ripley and
Liv
Morgan with Damian on a pole. Like, not necessarily a pole, but
like a stripper pole. Like, what are we doing here?
No, if you think back to the old WCW matches,
days, somebody's
they used
mom
to have
on
like
a pole.
Yeah,
match.
mom on a pole match. Whatever it was. Custody of Dominic match. That's what I envisioned. I envisioned Dom somehow a part of the stipulation, and here we are. He's in a shark cage.
You better hope that it's the Y6, because we're getting to a point where it's like, what can they do with the Judgment Day and Rhea Ripley and Damian Priest? They can't do this forever. You gotta let Damian Priest and Rhea Ripley go on their merry way and do their own thing. The Wyatt Six would add a nice little mix here, and it'll easily, seamlessly allow them to do their own thing and say, we ain't got to deal with Judgment Day no more.
Right.
I'm handling my business.
And the numbers are even. The numbers are right there.
The numbers are even, exactly. And I think it also opened the door for something else that you said before, that Rhea is perfect to move over to Raw. I mean, to
SmackDown.
To SmackDown.
Yeah, to SmackDown.
Absolutely. Because now you're definitely now setting up for Rhea versus Rhea versus Tiffy if Tiffy takes the belt. It's Rhea versus Charlotte when Charlotte comes back. And I mean, I can't get enough, man. So Rhea, I think Rhea goes to SmackDown, and I think that's going to be massive. When Becky comes back, whenever that might be, you know what I mean? You got that in play as well. So yeah, and there's one that's escaping. Somebody that's I just read the report a couple days ago. I can't think of it right now, so we'll move on. But there's someone, it's a headliner, it's an alpha female who said she will be back in 2025. Alexa Bliss. So Alexa Bliss is saying 2025 as well. Will she be SmackDown? Will she be Raw? But the fact that she said 2025 and Raw's going to Netflix, oh man. Okay.
For that to happen,
I would love Alexa Bliss Raw, honestly, like for real. In a lot of ways. But really quickly, I just wanted to say, I don't think Rhea moves because, one, she's the face of Raw. Mm-hmm. Two, she's getting that belt. And
so that's your prediction.
Like, she would have to lose to go to SmackDown. Then who's the lead woman, or at least somebody that can challenge Liv? I feel like you have to keep her there until you get more of these bigger names back.
She gets the belt, and then now Liv Morgan can feud with
Wyatt Six,
Nikki Cross.
With Nikki Cross, with Sister Abigail. So I agree with that. Abigail the Witch, rather, because Sister Abigail is the finisher. But I do agree that I think Liv loses. I think Rhea takes the belt back, which sets up for a perfect segue to Liv in the Judgment Day versus Nikki Cross and Wyatt Six. And I think Damian just beats the shit out of Finn. And that's not to say, because we've said this before, Finn is one of the best in-ring talents ever to grace professional wrestling.
It's unfortunate you haven't seen it yet, KD. Seriously.
Yeah,
I mean, I keep hearing rumors.
Listen, until we see the Demon, and you're not going to see the Demon on heel.
Oh, it's going to be a while, which sucks.
Right. So until we see the Demon, like if the Demon were coming out, I'd say Finn is going to win this match. But the Demon's not coming out, and it's Damian. They're trying to get him over completely as the Judgment Day doesn't need you. What did Finn Balor say? Okay, so that is perfect segue to Finn getting his ass whooped, and then Damian looking at him and looking at the camera and saying, as it turned out, I didn't need you.
Right. Okay, let's go to the big one. Cody Rhodes, Roman Reigns, Solo Sikoa, Jacob Fatu. By the way, Zilla Fatu won the championship last week. I don't know if you guys saw that clip. I'll send it to you later.
Yeah.
On ROW. But yeah, let's talk about this. Rhodes and Reigns. Is there How does this play out? How do you guys see it playing out?
This one's so unpredictable. Steal what you got.
I was going to say this is one where it can go either way, but I actually think it's going to go pretty much by the book. Bloodline comes out, they're going to interfere. I can even see them winning just based off of that if they want to stretch this out. But I feel like that's what it's going to be. What I would like to see though is kind of Cody and Roman take the dub and then kind of reignite that weird tension that I often talk about, right? Like, hey, we got the dub, but I don't fool with you. You're not my guy, Cody. And then we get back into maybe building that. Maybe it's too early, obviously, because they're a WrestleMania match if they want to go that way. But we could see the Survivor Series thing start to play out, right? Where Jimmy comes back at some point. Obviously, Gunther's going to beat. We can talk about it, but my prediction: Gunther's going to beat Sami Zayn. So now Jimmy, Sami Zayn, they can kind of be part of this Survivor Series. I don't want to see Cody involved in it. I truly don't. But if they're going to, whatever, man. At this point, but I can see the Bloodline winning in that manner, interference, setting up Survivor Series in November for 4-on-4 usually what they do, 5-on-5.
Yeah.
5-on-5, I think.
Yeah,
I think it goes back.
They can make it go 4. Yeah, they can do 4. Yeah.
So real quick, Sami Zayn loses because Gunther needs to tie that series. Okay, so Sami Zayn loses. Period. Now I don't know if Braun Breaker's going to interfere. I want to say he will. But if they're going to try to put him over as a babyface, then I don't think he interferes with Sami Zayn. You can't interfere with Sami Zayn, right? So I think Zayn loses. I think Gunther keeps the belt and then sets up for Braun Breaker. Now going to Roman, I don't see Roman losing in his first match back. I just don't see it. So the way I predict is that it's going to be some sort of interference, obviously, that creates a disqualification, so Roman doesn't get an L hung on him in his first match back.
What if it's Cody that gets pinned, though? Would you settle for that?
It's still an L on Roman.
He had a tag team L before.
Well, that's true, but first match back, man. Like you
could put him over and lose.
You could. I think what ends up happening is that I think Kevin Owens fucks it all up for Cody and Roman. I think he fucks it all up. I think Cody and Roman are on the verge of taking this match. The Tongans, they come out, they interfere. Kevin and the Viper come out to even the odds. Something happens, and then Kevin Owens is like, you know what? Fuck this. And it could be that Kevin gets in Roman's face and Cody comes out of the ring and tries to separate him. He's like, yo, man, look, we're trying to do this. And Kevin's like, are you taking his side over mine? And then Stone Cold Stunner, and then all hell breaks loose, and nobody actually wins the match. It's just chaos. It's just right.
And we know Cody has no problem eating a pin in the tag team. He's done it a bunch.
Yeah, fair. So, but I think Kevin Owens, because if you're talking about stretching this out, that's how you stretch this out.
That's true.
You let Kevin come out, they even the numbers when the Tongans come out, which is inevitable, and then something happens, and it just finally, that's the straw that breaks the camel's back for Kevin Owens. And he's like, man, enough is enough. Cody, you got to catch these hands. And then here we are. We're off.
Throw Randy in there. Randy looking around like, hey, what's going on? Roman Reigns pushes Randy. RKO.
RKO out of nowhere. And then Randy gonna start RKO on everybody because Solo got to get it. Loa got to get it. Tonga got to get it. Everybody got to get it.
I don't want to predict any interference at this point because I just think that that's a lot of storyline that you have to kind of consider. If it's just clean as we have it right now, I say Roman and Cody go over. They take it. The very next night they do a promo. It's Rhodey. It's Rhodes, and
I like Rhodey.
Roman Reigns. Roman's like,
Marvel
all right,
reference, Rhodey.
That's my belt.
It's a war
That's
machine.
my belt. I'm coming for that belt. I need that right now.
Roman Reigns and Cody Part 3 Survivor Series.
I think they try to set it up that way.
It's too big for Survivor Series. It's too big.
I feel like they try to set it up that way, and then the bloodline
is The Rock. That's all.
Then the bloodline interferes.
Royal Rumble at the earliest. I'm feeling
in on it
for that.
All right.
Royal Rumble. That tastes.
All right, you're all wrong. You're all wrong. What's actually going to happen is that Cody costs them the match in some way, and that is what drives the wedge between them. It's going to be a very quick turn towards Rhodes and Reigns disintegrating as a tag team, and Cody is going to end up doing something that costs them the match. That's my prediction.
I just don't know that you get out of Bad Blood without Kevin finally turning. We've gotten out of the previous 2 PLEs without Kevin turning.
Fair.
I don't think we get out of 3.
Okay, we'll see. All right, we're gonna wrap it up.
See.
You guys, well, we will see. God damn it. We're going to go ahead and wrap it up. We appreciate all of y'all for tuning in to another great episode here on the And New Wrestling Podcast. Make sure you are smashing that subscribe button, the notification button, so that you do not miss any of this action. And we will be back next week to discuss all of this, plus the follow-up Monday Night Raw with a ton of championship action in that.
Wait. Did you say next week? We'll be back after Bad Blood for the reaction episode.
There you go. Reaction episode. Standard. Yeah. We're here for that. Saturday evening. Check us out. We're out of here. Salute.